The rocks cut into my hands as I held on to the sharp cliff. The wind howled in my ears like a wild animal. My heart beat so loud it almost drowned out the crashing waves far below. My fingers were bleeding, nails bending back, dirt stuck under them. But still, I held on. "Dad!" I screamed, my voice breaking. "Please pull me up." For a moment his shadow blocked the sun above me. A small flash of hope came. Maybe this time, maybe at last, he would save me. But instead of reaching out, he bent down, his lips curling into a cruel smile. "You think you're worth saving?" His voice boomed against the cliff walls. "Dad, please," I sobbed. My legs kicked against the empty air. My hands were slipping. "I can't hold on." He pressed the bottom of his heavy boot against my fingers. Sharp gravel dug into my skin. "Trash doesn't deserve to climb back up," he said. Then he stomped. Pain shot through my fingers. My scream echoed into the valley. I slipped lower, hanging now by only 2 bleeding hands. Above me, my sister Kay appeared. Her shiny hair whipped in the wind. She leaned over, laughing like broken glass. "This is hilarious," she said, pulling out her phone. "Mom, come look." She's dangling like a rag doll. I blinked through sweat and blood and saw my mother a few steps back. Her arms were crossed. Her face had no feeling. "Let her fall," Mom said flatly. "Better to lose her than feed her another meal." My chest felt like it was caving in. My whole family was there, watching, sneering, laughing while I fought for my life. Kay took photos, angling her phone to catch my desperate face. "This is going on my story," she giggled. Caption: "When garbage tries to be equal." Every second stretched. My arms shook. My skin ripped against the cliff edge. The rocks below looked like hungry teeth waiting for me. "Please," I sobbed, tears running down my dirt-stained face. "Please, I'll do anything. Just don't let me go." Dad crouched down so his face was level with mine, his eyes burning with hate. "Anything? You're already nothing. You've been nothing since the day you were born." Then he stomped again. His boot slammed into my fingers, snapping one back with a sickening crack. I shrieked, almost losing my hold. Kay's laughter rose higher. Mom's lips curled into a cold smile. Just when I thought I was going to fall, something shifted above me. Small hands grabbed my shirt. My son, Ethan, only 6 years old, had crawled to the edge. His face was white with terror. Tears ran down his cheeks. "Mama, don't let go." "I'm here," he cried. "Get him away from there," Dad barked. But Ethan refused. His small arms strained, trying to pull me up even though he was shaking with effort. "I won't let them drop you, Mama." "I won't," he cried. His voice cracked, but his eyes stayed fierce. For a moment, I felt strength from his defiance. My bloodied hands dug into the rock again. My muscles screamed. I tried to pull myself up. But Dad shoved Ethan back with one harsh hand, sending him sprawling onto the dirt. "You'll learn tonight," Dad growled down at me. "Trash doesn't get second chances." He stomped one last time. My grip ripped from the stone. I fell. The scream tore out of me as I tumbled. Jagged rocks sliced across my arms and back. The world blurred, sky, cliff, sea, sky again, until I slammed onto a ledge halfway down. The impact knocked the breath from my body. Darkness crept in at the edges of my vision. But I was alive. Broken, bleeding, barely conscious, but alive. Above me, faint voices carried down. "I thought she'd go all the way down," Kay groaned. "Doesn't matter," Mom replied coldly. "If she survives, it won't be for long. She'll crawl back up like a rat, and we'll stomp her down again." Their voices faded as they walked away, leaving me sprawled on the rock ledge. My son's screams came from above, tearing my heart apart. "Mama." Mama. I'll get you. Don't leave me. My eyelids fluttered. My chest heaved. Blood stained the stone beneath me. And in that moment, broken as I was, something burned inside me, stronger than pain, stronger than fear. I wasn't going to crawl back up for them to stomp again. No. I was going to rise. And when I did, they would finally understand what it felt like to beg on their knees. I don't remember how long I lay there. The salt wind stung my open wounds. The roar of the ocean filled my ears. My body trembled. Every breath felt like a knife in my ribs. I thought I would die there. But then I heard it. A sound so small yet so piercing it cut through everything. Ethan's voice. Mama. Mama, don't close your eyes. I'll find you. The panic in his cry jolted me awake. For him, I couldn't give in. Not here. Not like this. With every ounce of strength left, I dragged myself along the ledge to a narrow crevice. The stone tore deeper into my skin, but I wedged myself against the wall, out of sight from the cliff above. I pressed my cheek against the cold rock and whispered into the wind, I'm not done. Not yet. Hours passed. Help didn't come from my parents. Help didn't come from my sister. Help came from a stranger. An older hiker had heard Ethan's desperate screams along the trail. By the time they reached me, my face was pale. My arms were torn raw. My hands were mangled from where Dad's boot had crushed them. The hiker tied a rope and lowered himself down, pulling me up while Ethan clung to my neck, sobbing. I thought you were gone, Mama, he cried. I thought they killed you. In that moment, I swore something to him. No one will ever take me from you again. And no one will ever hurt you again. The hospital stitched me back together. But stitches can't fix broken trust. My parents didn't visit. Kay didn't call. When the doctor asked if I had family to take me home, Ethan and I exchanged a look. We both knew the truth. We had no family. When I returned to that house weeks later, scars still fresh, hands bandaged, they acted like nothing had happened. Dad sat in his recliner, beer in hand. Mom folded laundry at the table. Kay painted her nails. You're still alive? Dad grunted, not looking up. Guess even garbage doesn't rot as fast as it should, Mom muttered. Kay smirked, shaking her head. You should have just let go, sis. Would have saved us all the trouble. Ethan pressed into my side, his small hands curling into fists. I felt his anger, his fear, his hunger for justice. And I knew they had no idea what they had unleashed that day on the cliff. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just nodded slowly and carried Ethan upstairs. That night, as I tucked him into bed, he whispered, Mama, they're not scared of anything. I kissed his forehead. Then we'll give them something to fear. From that night forward, I changed. Every cruel word they threw at me became fuel. Every slap, every insult, every mocking laugh, I collected them like weapons stored in silence. I noticed Dad's weakness wasn't strength. It was image. He thrived on the respect of neighbors, the illusion of being the strong, proud father. If that image cracked, so would he. Mom's pride was her reputation. She wanted everyone to think she was the perfect matriarch, the woman who raised a flawless family. The truth was her greatest enemy. And Kay, she lived for attention. Her phone was her lifeline. Without admiration, without envy, she was nothing but a spoiled girl with sharp words and a hollow core. So I waited. Patiently. Quietly. I began keeping records. Not just in my notebook, but in whispers to people outside these walls, neighbors, teachers, anyone who could see Ethan's bruised pride, the emptiness in his lunchbox, the truth in his eyes. At the same time, I let my parents believe I was still broken. I moved quietly through the house, head bowed, hands folded. They thought they had one. See, Dad said one night, smirking as I cleared plates. Trash knows where it belongs now. Mom nodded. Finally, she's learned her place. Kay leaned back, scrolling on her phone, smirking. Good. Maybe she'll stop embarrassing us. I said nothing. But inside, I was smiling. They thought I had fallen that day. But the truth was, I'd been climbing back up ever since. And the higher I climbed in silence, the harder they would fall. The plan wasn't revenge in one moment. It was revenge in layers. I began to prepare Ethan for it, too. Not by filling him with hate, but with truth. You're not trash, I told him every night. You're worth more than all of them combined. And one day they'll choke on the words they threw at us. His little eyes hardened with determination. I'll help you, Mama, he whispered. Weeks passed. My hands healed enough to grip again. My back stopped aching enough to stand tall. And with every day, the mask I wore for them grew more convincing. Until finally, the moment came. The family dinner where I would no longer be their victim. Mom announced it proudly, inviting neighbors, distant cousins, everyone who mattered to her fake reputation. A true family gathering, she called it. Dad boasted about it at the bar. Kay bragged online. They had no idea they were planning the stage for their own destruction. As I buttoned Ethan's shirt that evening, smoothing his hair, he looked up at me with wide, steady eyes and whispered, "Tonight." I smiled. Tonight. The house smelled of roasted meat and buttered rolls that night. Candles flickered on the table. Silverware gleamed. Every chair was filled. Neighbors had come, old family, friends, even Mom's church group. She wanted a full audience. Mom moved from seat to seat, smiling her false, sweet smile. See, this is what family looks like, she told the guests, pouring wine. Dad boomed with laughter at the head of the table. My family is my pride. Nothing stronger than us. He slapped Kay on the back like she was the son he always wanted. And me? I sat quietly at the far end with Ethan beside me. He held my hand under the table. His eyes met mine, and I gave him the smallest nod. Tonight. Plates were served heaping with roast and potatoes. But when it came to me and Ethan, Mom slid 2 empty bowls across the table. You can eat later, she said sweetly, loud enough for everyone to hear. After the important ones are full. Laughter rippled through the table. Kay lifted her glass. Cheers to knowing your place. For a moment, I let the laughter rise. Let them believe it was another night where they feasted while Ethan and I shrank into the corner. Then I stood. The laughter faltered. Every eye turned to me. I brought something for dinner, too, I said quietly. My hands didn't shake as I set a plain cardboard box in the center of the table. The neighbors glanced at each other, confused. Dad snorted. What is this? Trash night already? Mom tried to wave me down, hissing through her teeth. Sit down before you humiliate us. But I stayed standing. Slowly, deliberately, I opened the box. Inside wasn't food. It was everything they had buried me with. Ethan's torn sneakers. His school lunchboxes with moldy crumbs. My hospital wristband from the night I was dragged half dead off the cliff. And on top, wrapped in a clear sleeve, the pages of my notebook. Every cruel word they'd ever thrown at me. Every moment I'd written down. Gasps rippled through the guests. A woman from Mom's church leaned forward, reading aloud from one page, "Trash doesn't deserve to climb back up." The words hung in the air like poison. Kay shot up, red-faced. She's lying. She's twisting it. But Ethan's small voice rang out, breaking the tension. Grandpa stomped Mama's hands. Grandma slapped her. Auntie called me trash. His voice trembled, but he didn't stop. They wanted her to fall. The room went dead silent. Dad roared, trying to stand, but his chair scraped back too hard. Shut that boy up. His face turned red, his fists clenched. He's making stories. No, I said, my voice cutting through the noise. I reached into the box and pulled out Kay's phone, the one I'd taken when she was drunk weeks earlier. With a flick, I played the video I had found. Her own voice filled the dining room, shrill and cruel. This is hilarious. She's dangling like a rag doll. Caption, when garbage tries to be equal. The neighbors recoiled. One man muttered, my God. Kay lunged across the table. Turn it off. That was a joke. But it was too late. The mask was gone. Everyone had heard. Everyone knew. Mom's face went ghost white. Her church friends whispered furiously, their perfect image of her shattering with each word. Dad tried to pound the table to bellow over the noise. This family is strong. This family is? No, I said, stepping forward. This family is rotten. And now everyone sees it. The weight of the eyes around him finally broke something in him. His voice cracked. His fists trembled. His breath came ragged. For the first time in my life, I saw fear in his eyes. And then he sank. His knees buckled beneath him, crashing onto the floor, his hands clutching at the tablecloth like it could save him. His chest heaved, his head bowed low like a man begging without words. The same man who had stomped on my fingers while I clung to life now shook at my feet. Kay screamed, her perfect world crumbling. Mom tried to grab her church friend's arms, desperate. Don't believe her. Don't believe any of it. But they pulled away, their disgust plain. I gathered Ethan into my arms. His face pressed into my shoulder, but his eyes peeked out, watching. He saw them broken. He saw them stripped of the power they had wielded like a weapon. I looked down at Dad, his broad shoulders trembling. You said trash doesn't deserve to climb back up, my voice steady, cold. But here I am. And here you are, on your knees. And with Ethan's hand gripping mine, I walked out of that house for the last time. The candles flickered behind me. The laughter was gone. Only whispers, gasps, and the broken sobs of the family who had once left me dangling from a cliff remained. We stepped into the cool night air. Ethan's small hand squeezed mine. His voice was quiet but sure. Mama, we're free now. I looked down at him, at his wide, brave eyes, and I knew he was right. We were free. And we were never going back. Please like and subscribe for more videos, also comment where you're watching from.